Recall that recently Asari Dokubo came out publicly and cried and made the public known how he wrecked his account and went as far as borrowing money from Lapo to ensure that Bola Tinubu remained as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Few days after that lamentation, the Rivers State APC seems not to be happy with that revelation. Hence, they are out to remind Asari Dokubo that he is a liar, that on that election day, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lost in his own unit in Rivers State. However, it seems that Rivers State APC is trying to play politics with the head of Asari Dokubo.
Briefing or engagement is on the issues that pertain Rivers State, and you know that I am Rivers, and I am a crucial stakeholder in the state, and it behooves on all of us who are critical stakeholders to do anything that we can within the ambits of the law to ensure that the state is protected, to ensure that we are still in sync with other, or rather in a committee of states. Of course, if we fall below that standard, it of course means that we are finding ourselves into the dungeon. And so it is a matter that gives us, some of us, a lot of concern. It gives a lot of concern to us. How, I'm sure somebody will be asking me, how Rivers State has been on the news on the wrong reasons, or for the wrong reasons. Okay, so I can give you a bit of all that is going on, and so that you are able to understand the scenarios. I tuned the radio station yesterday and today in Abuja, and I heard conversations concerning Rivers State. And I can tell you that they are skewed. I wish I had all of them here, so that they will hear our own side of the story. For every matter, there are two sides to it. And so when you lift up one side and begin to adumbrate on it, you begin to project and promote it at the detriment of the other side of it, then of course you will never get a good balance. What makes a good balance is get the two stories, okay, or stories from both sides, and you now synthesize. That is what I know this business is all about. So the radio houses are holding us, when I say us, APC, and even bringing in the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, you're holding us in disdain. You're holding us in scorn. It is not what you see. Yes, I know that naturally, what anybody will say is, oh, you have done 8 years. Why are you not allowing somebody else who is on 4 years and 8 years going forward? But is that the narrative? The answer is capital N-O. That's not the narrative. It's not. The narrative is that you have made an investment. And an investment that you have made, you expect results. I'm sure you'll agree with me. If you make an investment, the reason for making that investment is that there is going to be a result, corresponding result from the investment you have made. Nobody makes an investment and throws it away, and you don't even look around it. It will fail. The business will fail. So in this sense, for anybody to say, oh, you are pressing somebody, you are humiliating, you are intimidating somebody, that is not the narrative. The narrative, I keep saying to you, is that Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, is Nyesom Wike's political investment. I know I've said this many times. Because he lifted him from ground zero and put him where he is today. He was never a politician. Never was he a politician. And the when he won the election, the other political parties, including our own political party, the APC, we took him to court. And what did we challenge? We were not challenging the valid votes cast. We were challenging the process of his resignation. Is it consistent with the law? Why? Resignation from where? It tells you that he was a civil servant. All right? So, in other words, he never was part of what politicians do in the state, other than that he is a civil servant. And somebody lifts you from that state of relative obscurity, political obscurity, and takes you to a crescendo, because the crescendo in Rivers State is the governorship of the state. So from relative obscurity, you are taken to what? Political crescendo. And you have a state as Rivers, not any other state, to superintend over. So that is the issue, gentlemen of the press. It is not about the issue of anybody saying, no, I don't want to. No, nobody is suffocating anybody. I have said here many times that the fight in Rivers State is between Governor Sim Fubara versus Governor Sim Fubara. I'm sure I dealt with that matter here before. If you want me to deal with it, I'll go through the route again. What do I mean, Governor Sim Fubara versus Governor Sim Fubara? He's the governor. In Ikwere parlance, there's a parlance and there's an adage in Ikwere. You are the one that holds the yam and the knife. So you decide how you appropriate it. Now, a governor emerged from an election that also produced 32 assembly members, all of PDP. I'm sure all of us know that the governorship and House of Assembly elections were on the same day, right? And on that slate, all of them candidated. And he won, the others won as assembly members, and assembly was proclaimed by him. That's the law. And what happened? Few months later, we didn't hear that they had their intra-party matter. We didn't hear. How did we hear? We heard only on the 29th of October last year, when the state was in heavy crisis. What was the crisis? There was a burning of the iconic structure housing the Rivers State House of Assembly. And, through social media, whilst the place was burning, people were sending videos and all of those. And the governor, on the 30th morning, took a walk to the venue. They call it the locus in quo. He took a walk to the venue. On his way, he started raising alarm that the police officer who was in charge of that environment was spraying him water. That was the first alarm he raised. But it didn't stop him from going to the venue. He got to the venue and saw the assembly building burnt. And he left there, went to Government House Gate, where they prepared already a podium for him to speak. And in his speech, he said, look, do you people know that they wanted to use the assembly complex today to impeach me? A witch cries in the night, the baby dies in the morning. You can link it. And then immediately that happened, I took him on as party, we were opposition. I took him on severally. I said, Your Excellency Governor, Rivers State, an iconic structure housing the Rivers State House of Assembly just got burnt. Set up a panel of inquiry. Set up anything at all to get to the remote and the immediate reason or causes for the burning of that structure. Listen, the assembly structure I'm talking about is second only to the National Assembly, if any one of you know Rivers State very well. It was that wonderful. As I set up a panel, we need to know who was responsible for the burning of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Till today, he never did. But how many days ago we are told that an election that I've mentioned to you people here many times, or even when before and after that judgment was got, that we were in court. APC was in court, challenging the processes that were put in place by Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to conduct what they call a local government election. So we were in court. And this matter in court ran through the course. We're not talking about an expertise right now. We're talking about a process that began in June and ended in October, on the 3rd of October, in which case all parties canvassed their opinions. All parties canvassed their own interests, one way or the other. And they were senior advocates, renowned senior advocates. I don't need to call their names, if you like. Maybe when you ask questions and it's around that, I'll tell you. They are renowned senior advocates. More than 10. More than 10 of them on all sides. And at the end of the day, the judge of the Federal High Court said, Honorable Peter Lifo gave his considered judgment on the matter. And in that judgment, the court said, INEC do not give material voters register to APC, to RISEC. Police do not participate in that election. DSS do not participate in the election. RISEC, you were wrong. You berated the Constitution. The Constitution says, because one of the things we come back, say, we need to have 90 clear days for what? I'm distracted, please.
Please, gentlemen, please. Sorry.
Thank you. So, the Constitution says 90 clear days, you need to publish or put out notice for election. And the parties who will contest that election will be properly notified. The day they took the decision for an election of into councils where APC will participate, we were not invited to the meeting. And we made heavy weather. We raised issues. And it appeared that the reason why they did that is their attempt to shave us in our absence. Does it happen that way? You can't shave a man in his absence. You can't shave a man's hair in his absence. Okay, now, that happened. I'm sure I've been able to explain that the fight is between Governor Siminalayi Fubara versus Governor Siminalayi Fubara. If you're a governor, even at the levels that we have performed in life, we've held positions, you will find that the governor's powers are omnibus. They are so large. They will tell you, oh, you can do and undo. It's correct. So they had the internal crisis. And then it was there that day that Rivers knew that there was crisis in the system. Because the governor said that they wanted to impeach him. They wanted to use the assembly complex to impeach him that day. So burning the assembly complex meant, of course, that he tried to do it to assuage the so-called the fear he had of impeachment. So we're asking him, now that he has set up committees or judicial commission, to see the burning of one or two local governments in Rivers State, include the assembly that was burnt too. Let the judicial commission also investigate and tell Rivers people how the assembly was burned. That structure is even more important than the gates of local government that I heard were set on fire. And I don't know whether I've told you people here, a day to that so-called election, that charade, APC Secretariat was bombed in Rivers State. And all the media platforms that operate in this country were all there to see for themselves. And I addressed them at their different times when they came. So it was not like a reported speech. I wasn't the one reporting to them, they say, there are political undertones. No. They came for themselves and by themselves. And they saw that they said, what happened to our secretary? So well, ask the governor, include APC secretariat, the bobbing of APC secretariat, into the commission's terms of reference, so that we also know who was responsible. So that's where we are on that. Here they have set up the commission, eliminating the assembly quarters of the Van Bonnen and APC. I don't know how that will go, but let's carry on. Let's carry on. Now, gentlemen, the issue that is in vogue right now is the one that a court of competent jurisdiction, the Federal High Court here in Abuja, under Honorable Joyce Abdul Malik, gave another judgment as it pertains to Rivers State recently. What was her judgment? Her judgment was that it was wrong, and you and I will agree. Forget about where you lean. It's wrong that you appropriate the people's commonwealth or the commonwealth of the people without the corresponding appropriation law. Over time, from January this year, the High Court, under the seal of Justice Omotosho, had ruled the judge, given judgment to the extent that the governor's attempt to go to 4 members to present budget and they say they passed is in error. First and foremost, the person who presided over the so-called assembly that day was not the speaker. And so you cannot carry on. The judge also said, you didn't form the quorum. My dear brothers, that's what they call quorum now. And the quorum for an assembly to sit is 1/3. The law didn't say 2/3, but the law said what? 1/3. But the passage of the budget, the law says 2/3. Because what that means is that 2/3 of the state houses of assembly, that is the state constituencies, will also participate in the discussion as to how the monies for the state will be disbursed, which project will come to you as representative. When I say you, come to your constituency as representative of the constituency. And the man in that judgment said, go back to Martins and Megule's led House of Assembly and present the budget. We're talking about 31. It was the assembly 32. We lost one to death. And then we had 31 seats. 27 are on one side. And then 4 are claiming to be assembly. One is speaker. The other one is deputy speaker. The other one is house leader. Only one member that has the position. Isn't that an aberration? Is it not an affront to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Is it not even an affront to common sense? If there's anything called common sense, it is an affront to common sense. The white people will use high words, say it's preposterous to imagine that a thing like that can happen. So, after that was the intervention of Mr. President. In Mr. President's intervention, of all the 8 points, Mr. President noted that the governor was wrong in presenting a budget to a 4-member over and above 27 others, and that he should go back and represent the budget. In our meeting, the meeting will talk about how the president intervened. It is one of the reasons, or it was one of the reasons why the president, that was raised on that document. And the governor granted. He told Mr. President, whilst we were all there, that, President, I'm meeting you for the third time, and I've always assured you that whatever you say as it pertains to River State, I'm going to abide. So this one, I will also do the same. But I have one request, and the President said, what is your request? The request is that those who worked with him on his own side should not be vilified. They should not be punished. And the President said, no, nobody can do that. We just had a reconciliation here, so who will go after anybody? That's how it ended. We left Port Harcourt for Abuja, left Abuja for Port Harcourt, and too many groups started springing up. Oh, Governor, you have sold your immunity. Oh, Governor, you have sold River State. Some said that he signed under duress. Some said that if he was the one that even signed, he would have used the red pen. And I started hearing, reductionist arguments. Irredentists emerged from left, right, and center. The fifth columnists were on the prowl. What was their own interest? Pecuniary in their pocket. And so they changed the governor's mindset to something different. Meanwhile, the governor had gone to Rivers State and addressed Rivers people, okay, in a broadcast, and said that he had looked at the president's intervention and looked at the 8 points agenda contained therein, that it was not a death sentence. We clapped for him. At least he was going to implement. But did he implement the decision of Mr. President and the decision of the court to represent the budget to an assembly under Martins and Mewuli? No. It is a cause of the matter today. 2 weeks ago, a court of appeal, they appealed, upbraided him. If I were to be in his shoes, I would be circumspect. I'll be very sober. When a court of appeal says to you that you're a civilian dictator, that you're acting like a civilian dictator, that you're hiding under the cloak of immunity. That's Section 308, and all of us know. So perpetrate illegality. You are choosing and picking the others to obey and the ones not to obey. The Court of Appeal was very angry. They were very clear. The Court of Appeal said, your presentation to the 4 members, you made a presentation to a forum. That's what the judges concluded. That it was made to a forum, not the assembly. Go back and present a budget. Court of Appeal. Did they do that? No. They are still running from pillar to post. They want to appeal. Nobody is scared. After all, the apogee point of our legal system today is the Supreme Court. So when you finish at the Supreme Court level, I recall that was a matter I followed to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court told the other parties, if you are not satisfied with our judgment, then appeal to God. Because here we are the final. There's no other person or no other court you will apply to. So if you are not comfortable with what we have done, appeal to God. So that's the law. Now, the assembly came back because the Court of Appeal had also reaffirmed the position of Martins and Mewuli as Speaker and the 26 other members. So the assembly came, sat, and said, look, Governor, we are giving you, in spite of the fact that we have a judgment that said, do it immediately, we want to give you 1 month. Take your time. Present this budget back to us. No, till today. And the Federal High Court says in her judgment that it was a constitutional somersault for a governor to run the affairs of a state without appropriation law. You all know that budget starts from January, all right? And it runs till December. That is the full length of it. The Constitution said if there's any reason why a governor is unable to present his budget to the assembly, if there's any reason at all, that the governor has a window for 6 months to still carry on with the previous budget, but should spend not more than 30% of what was the previous budget. If you look at all of this, January to June, his window had expired. Yes, he's still, we're in November. He's still carrying on running the state without an approved budget. So the court of the Federal High Court was right. He said, both the window provided for you and the time that the law also agrees with you, you have not been able to present this budget. Therefore, we cannot allow you to continue with the constitutional affront. We cannot allow you to continue. So CBN and other agencies of government responsible for disbursement of funds to River State should not do that again until the budget is presented. That is a bone of contention today in River State. As we speak, the radios in River State are agog. People are shouting. But my worry, gentlemen, 3 things I worry about. One, people are trying to skew the story to say that those who got that judgment are haters of River State, because that the governor will be unable to pay salaries, the governor will be unable to this and do that, pay contractors and all that, and then the state will be run aground. Is that sentiment true? The answer is capital word, envy. From the Hobbesian times, that is when man moved away from the stage where it was self-preservation, life was short, brutish and nasty, to a civil society engineered by Thomas Hobbes. Every civil society requires that things are done in very serene ways. Is it right for the governor to run the state without a budget? Nobody wants to ask that one. If you will say, oh, you are going to run, no. It's even dangerous for us because you don't have a budget, you don't have limits. You can spend anything, anywhere, and nobody questions. Emotions are not part of our laws. Emotion, sentiment are not part of our laws. Even what they call sympathy. Sympathy is found in what they call, in Latin, the allocutus. What is the allocutus? You have been convicted, and the judge may ask you, is there anything that you need to say? You say, my Lord, yes, I have been convicted, my this, but please, my family is this, and the survivors. The judge, it is on the judge's discretion. It's okay, out of 5 years, we'll give you 3. That the allocutus would not take you out of the conviction. So what am I saying is that the law is the law. And sentiments, what we are seeing in River State, as I told now, is that people are carrying out demonstrations. Yesterday was candle night and all that, and people are brandishing all manner of things. Oh, how they will destroy the oil facilities if XYZ happens and all that. Is that not funny? The law is there, and you are recursing to self-help. But if they like, they can go to the mortuaries and bring all dead bodies on the streets. The law will certainly speak. And when the law speaks, noise will disappear. When the law speaks, noises will disappear. That is where we are. Like I said to you, that I worry about 3 things. One is the useless sentiments that they are whipping up. And I need our people to understand that the man who goes to court is the man who is suing for peace. He is a troubleshooter. I'm sure we know the difference between a troubleshooter and a troublemaker. A troubleshooter is the person who tries to assuage trouble. The troublemaker is the one that puts himself down to eat the trouble. So any person that goes to court or makes a complaint anywhere is a troubleshooter. He doesn't want the recourse of violence. So our people should know that. Second, is the blackmail on the judiciary. Oh, the judiciary has been bought over by one person. They call the person's name and says the way some wicked minister of FCT and all that. And another strand takes a swipe on Mr. President and to say, oh, Mr. President, you are giving Wike all the support to do this in River State and blah, 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 blah. All these are unnecessary blackmails. The intention is to psychologize people to docility. But will they work? Will it work? The answer is no. Except at the time that you want to say that you want to bend the law or you want to break the law. But if the law is the law, what will prevail? President offered a helping hand when he called that meeting, in spite of his very busy schedules. And what came out of it would have been the end of the crisis in River State if the governor followed the letter. They said, oh, they bamboozled the governor, they cajoled him to say to the press at a later time that the president's intervention on that matter, I recall that I was here, somebody asked me that question, that the president's intervention was political, that it was not constitutional. And so he will follow the constitutional means. What is the constitutional means? Is it to carry gun? No, it's the court. And the courts are speaking because they are doing everything they are doing within the ambits of the law. Now they are blackmailing Mr. President. Somebody, and I note this seriously, somebody in River State has said on television that he spends billions of naira in support of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu election. And I'm here to say that it is not only false, but is a lie from the pit of the hell. It's a lie from the pit of what? Hell. Nothing like that happened. I was in charge of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, both his campaign, the campaigns in Port Harcourt as a state, and the presidential campaign that visited the River State. I was in charge. I was in charge of the election planning. And that person that is talking about how he spent billions didn't contribute farthing broken into 30 to the fund that we deployed for the election. He didn't. In his polling unit, APC scored 9, PDP scored 12. So where and how did you deliver Tinubu? Please. I don't know if you are following me. I said he didn't put a cover. If he put a cover, I would know. I was in charge. I know who put money into the coffers that delivered the president in River State. I'm talking about River State. Except he gave that money to anybody outside. But it also did not translate to action. Because in your own polling unit, you scored 9 votes for APC. PDP scored 12. Who won? Is 9 greater than 12? So what gives you the effrontery? Okay? What is the moral right that person can say, I delivered president and spend money? How, please? Oh, we burn this, we burn that, we burn this. How do you think of it? Why? The day a champion was born in a community, another one was born in another community. No be so? Yes. So if you think you are know all and do all, you are a repository of violence, you don't also know what the other person has. The person is not talking. So we're here to say that those things are lies. I'm chairman of APC. I was the coordinator of Renewed Hope when they made it impossible for us to campaign for Tinubu using APC as a platform. We domesticated the Renewed Hope and used that to campaign. If some of you have seen, I can maybe send you pictures. I was the one that received Mr. President at the secretary, the venue for that court, and we spoke. I also led him to pay a courtesy call on the governor then, as a weekend, which was natural. So I do not know, on the election day, or a day to the election, how funds were disbursed, the strategies to win election. I was seated. And nobody brought a call ball, 1 naira. Just one man did. I won't call the man's name. You know? So those who carry all these fake stories and they say, please disregard them. Tell them that I am the chairman of the party today. At the time when it was hot to talk about Tinubu in Rivers State, I broached it. I even visited them. I'm sure they will remember that I visited them in their houses to campaign. On that visit in their houses, I even brought my own, it was my own money to buy drinks. They didn't give us transport to go back. So where did you bring the $2 million and all of those that you expended? It's not correct, please. And I'll give you the figure. You can go and check. The units they voted, Tinubu scored 9 votes. Atiku scored 12. I have asked on this question, who win? But I know you won't even answer me. I know the press people. You won't want to echo. But 9 cannot be greater than 12. You know the answer. So they should, get away from these unnecessary lies and all that. Finally, so that the strong man's morality. It is a court, civil society. So we follow all the judgments of. If the Supreme Court says tomorrow that the assembly members who they claim had defected to PDP are no longer members of PDP and their seats are declared vacant, we have no choice to obey. So it is not right for anybody to begin to adopt self-help measures. As a party, the All Progressives Party in Rivers State will stand with the judgments of the courts on these issues and use this opportunity to speak against the attempt to disparage innocent persons, namely Eze Iwuanyi-Sonwike, His Excellency, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory. In all the cases, there are about 32 cases in court on this matter. He is not a party. So how dare you go drop somebody? I am a party in many. Accuse me. Leave a man that is innocent. He is not in the case. Why bring in the president? I'm sure you read what Atiku said the other day. He's beginning to find sympathy. He's beginning to find sympathy. And you think we should allow that to suffice? The answer is no. So I thank you for yielding this floor to me. And I don't know if you follow me. I say it's foolhardiness for anyone to cry when the head is off. And there's also this aphorism that you don't cry over a split what? Milk. Where have these elders been? Where? The matter is narrowing down, if you ask me. Because the only other hurdle to skip is the Supreme Court. What are the elders coming to do at this late hour, if they actually will want to come? What are they coming to do? They are the same people who told the governor that you are a know all and do all. They encouraged the governor to believe that his head was bigger than his pillow. They were the ones. They told him, look, your powers are elastic. What can you not do? And the governor agreed to that. And today, the Equerryman tells you that not everybody that comes to plan your building will be part of the building. No. A lot of them have disappeared to thin air. At the time they came to counsel the governor against the decision that he signed to, they had lined their pockets. And the governor is on the hot seat. So to say to you, sir, that I don't see that working is way too late. But I wish. And if wishes were horses. Yes, I wish. We want peace. Simple thing. See, the only way to bring peace is follow the law. If the governor had listened to the Omotosho judgment, if you had listened to the counsel of Mr. President, if you had listened to the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal recently, all of this would have disappeared. What is he hiding? I keep imagining. What is he hiding? That you want only 4 persons to approve for you? 4 persons that will never, ever constitute a quorum? I'll leave that there. Then on the issue of the first question he asked, sir.
That it was for us.
Yes. That is what we saw. I joined you to read that part. But I don't want to believe. You know, a lot of things go on in social media. I don't want to believe that the governor said so. I don't want to believe. Let me be his advocate here. I don't want to believe. Just like I read the other day, that he has shut down NPC and all that. They came to say, look, they came for a rebuttal. The state did, remember? So anything you pick on social media is not all that you pick. I know the governor would not have said so. But if he had said so, too bad. We'll inundate the airwaves with his statements. I think he organized a press briefing, briefed Rivers people, and said the presidency was not a death sentence. So if he had come back, look, the serenity of that environment is not anyone that anybody will say, look, I was cajoled, or I was coerced, or I was bamboozled. No. I said to you, and I'm heated here, that the president asked all the press people to go out. The president told all security agents who worked directly with him, who were in that meeting, to leave. And he was going to talk to us as a family. So there was no reason for anybody to feel intimidated at all. No reason. And is he remembering that now? Is it not too late? Something that took place in somewhere around February, March? And you say you were coerced to do what?
Chief,
I'm not sure you did.
Chief, let me pause before asking my question. I wanted to keep quiet. First, commend your powerful disposition that has made all political leaders in Rivers State want to walk.
Aburi Accord. I'm sure our colleagues here understand what you mean. Yeah. You don't?
Yes.
Eh?
No, let's go back to that.
Okay.
I asked a question. Yes.
No, it's a question that he asked. So now the fulcrum of that Aburi meeting, where decisions were struck, an agreement signed to, is that there was an agreement. And that agreement, when you say on Aburi we stand, you know that there is a particular segment and section of the country that said on Aburi we stand. It is similar. Because on Aburi we stood before Mr. President. And we left, we came to River State. The arguments raged. Some people called themselves elders of the state and said to the governor, what are you doing? Have you forgotten that you were elected and that you have immunity? Have you forgotten that by your powers, this is unnecessary? The governor came and said it is not a death sentence. How it became a death sentence on this late hour is a different, is something that he had said is not a death sentence. And he signed to it. I signed, 7 of us or 8. I came to that meeting representing APC. I signed on behalf. If you have that, you see Chief Tony Okocha. There were 7 or 8 of us. The governor signed, the deputy governor signed, the chairman of APC signed, PDP signed, the speaker of the parliament signed, I signed, the minister was ordered to sign, NSA was ordered to sign by Mr. President, and that's how we ruled. So when I speak on this matter, I speak from the point of view of a participant, not as an observer, not as a third party. I was there in the meeting from beginning to the end. Now, you mentioned, for me, I think what people are talking about right now is, what is the way out? The way out is not for the elders to gather, because they already decided. They already decided. If you set up a panel of 5 persons, and I know that the only person that will represent me in that panel is one, you want me to appear before that one? I will not, because the 4 people will skew it against you. We can't be comfortable when a man has taken a position on the matter, has taken to the radio and television and speaks on the matter, and he set him up to come and be the ones that will mediate. No, you don't play into that kind of hands. So the way out is let the governor respect the law. If I were him, you stood to conquer. Windows have been provided for him. The arrogance. Don't forget that it was also the governor that said the jungle dome. The governor said so. Jungle has matured. And made unprintable statements. His slogan in River State is day a day, make I day my day. Make nobody worry, nobody. They converted it to a song. When they go there, day a day, make we day a day, oh, nobody worry, nobody. Beautiful. You can dance and with 2 handkerchiefs. Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is People's Day. In that River State governors there, they are good in making music.
So just leave and there. If you check, if you read, look at the social media, you see how people posted as to how much money they put on ground to make Tinubu win election, and how his support for Wike will make them align with the North. I'm sure you're following now. That the alliance with the North is more productive for them than aligning with the Southwest. It was everywhere now. It's everywhere. Okay. God bless your father. So, sir, to answer to your question, okay, I'll ask one question about the governors of Imo State, River State governors and all the infractions they committed and went away with it and all that. I don't know about original infraction during Odili. Odili ran the state. His only problem is thereafter what happened. EFCC was on him, and he went to court and secured a perpetual injunction against EFCC to look at anything concerning. So that injunction is still in place. Amechi came as governor, he lashed on that injunction. Nobody will probe him. Wike came, he lashed on it. Nobody will do what? Probe him. Fubara will go. Nobody will do what? Probe him, as it were. So those are not infractions, just like he asked, but they're not. What is an infraction is where, don't forget, in River State too, there was a period when there was an attempt to impeach Ruti. I was the chief of staff then. 5 assembly members wanted to impeach the governor in a house of 32. It didn't work. The speaker was not there. If people say they have defected from party A to party B, there must be proof. I can come here now and say, oh, this place, I own it. I use flag and fly. I own this place. Meanwhile, I don't have a document to prove my ownership of the place. The argument is, oh, they flaunted flags of APC and they said renewed hope. Is that the law? It's a political gimmick. That's not the law. The law says for you to be a member of a political party, our leader is here as an APC member. The law says that you would have been seen to have registered with the party in your ward, not in the state. That's what makes you a member of a political party, or even a member of any association whatsoever. As people are seated here, media people, right? You all represent, you just call the agency or the platform you represent. Same here. If you are going to have a meeting, if you are doing accreditation, everybody comes with a ID card. And we are saying, show one example where out of the 27 members who you claim have defected, where they are seen to have registered in their ward. Nobody is showing. There's a question you asked that.
Yeah, the issue
Lagos.
of
Good. Okay, in English and even in law, there's a word called differentiation. These two cases are not the same. They are far different and apart. The issue in Lagos is that the governor then, now president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, created yes, and wanted the federal government to pay. And the president, you got that he had a rough time with Obasanjo. Obasanjo said, we won't pay. The new development centers we have come to promulgate, we will not. So that is what took them to court. All right. So when he came to, we will not pay them. That we're not going to give allocation to them. That was what took them to court. But this issue is different. The difference is that in that case, it was not that Tinubu was running the state, Lagos State, without a budget. That's not the case. Then you have created this, so you carry the cost. And the Supreme Court didn't make an omnibus decision. And that's why I say name the state. He said Lagos. So that case in Lagos is not empowering material. It's not the same as in this case that we're talking. The federal government Congress is designated for 23rd of November, while the States Congress was designated for 30th of November. So that is the calendar of the party handed over to us and made public in public So I'd like to assure you, I'd like to say to you that we have put in, or we're putting in efforts to ensure that our congresses from the ward to the state will go on seamlessly. You will not hear us advocate. You will not hear us go to court on this matter. By the grace of God, we have eggheads in the leadership of the party, and we are talking with the crucial stakeholders, and the agreement is that it is not going to be war. Okay? We are all going to get our ward and LG and state officers and have a cup of tea together. So it's just for us to brief you that we are up and about to ensure that the days given to us are sacrosanct. They have said so, and we are working towards it. So please, whatever and whichever manner and way that you can help to make our Congress seamless and project it, in the manner that they would know that who conducted and who presented before such elections are responsible people, are responsible party members. Thank you so much.
Are you a candidate?
A reward to the state will come from consensus agreements. That's why I use the word seamless. And as it were, I'm eligible to contest. I just did caretaker. Maybe so. I'm eligible to contest. If the system believes in my capacity, that I can be the chairman substantive, I will look at it. I will go and ask my wife, because my wife is my chief confidant. I ask her if she agrees with it. I'll do my best. Because I know that the APC in Rivers State needs vibrance. Okay? We must bring vibrance to it, else it will be swallowed in 2027 again. We can't have a president who is APC. And in Rivers State, the treasure base, even though they are turning it now to rivers of troubles, it is rivers, it's rivers of possibility. It's the treasure base of a nation. So we cannot carry last. When people they here, they do APC, we do Rivers State, they do PDP. So, at the fullness of time, if I'm going to contest, I'll come back to you. Thank you
very much.
You know why? Because it is obvious to even the blind and the deaf that Asari Dokubo went to the extra mile to campaign for the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the 2023 presidential election. Asari Dokubo was also cited on different occasions leading counter protests in Abuja wherever a protest countering the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was being led. Recall that on the final court judgment day, where the final decision of the Supreme Court over the legality of the election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu was to be pronounced, Asari Dokubo and his boys stormed Abuja protesting that nothing must happen to the mandate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Hence, it is a thing of surprise for the Rivers APC to be played to the gallery by trying to downplay and ridicule the effort of Asari Dokubo